the Pleiadians, arena of consciousness. Beloved ones, we greet you. There is a natural vast shift within the rhythm of pure light that is creating a series of layered transformational structures to anchor throughout the earth plane. These multidimensional shifts are designed to build higher elevations of consciousness for those of you who are awakening. There is a celebration throughout the entire universal realms as we witness those of you on this path accelerate further within your evolutionary process. We witness you begin to play a much more conscious role in your awakening process. Your experience of time is changing in your day-to-day living reality. Know that these changes will continue to unfold within your reality on Earth. This speeding up is due to a higher elevation of light entering the planet. There is to be an expansive build-up, a feeling of speeding as Earth beings to move into this higher alternate arena of consciousness. This layered arena of consciousness are designed to reposition you into a further state of self-empowerment. This is a time for your self-resurrection as you move yourself within a liberated framework of self-awareness within the collective energetic space of consciousness oneness, home, being. As you let go and choose to launch yourself through the avenue of your heart, you are constantly being received within higher space of alternate reality settings. Remember, your heart is your launch pad to authentic reconnection. There is to be a building of intensity within your energetic systems as each one of you undergoes levels of transmutation. Your heart, which is one of your most powerful tools, has undergone and continues to unfold into a further rapid transmutation process. As you choose reconnection to your sacred heart, the awakening aspect of your evolution is being made readily accessible on more accelerated levels. Within these changes there is a re-emergence of your sacred potential, a remembering taking place, a returning of your natural multidimensional gifts. There will be a total reorientation of your sacred senses in certain moments as you undergo this remembering process. You may experience a disorientation within your reality as you have previously known it to be. There may be moments where suddenly you find yourself in an unfamiliar environment. In those moments of alternate experiences, you are going to be required to take a conscious breath, to let go, and to open your full awareness within the experience itself. An investigation within these arising spaces with your conscious awareness through your own curiosity will allow you to fully embrace the essence held within these expansive openings. Understand these alternate arenas carry aspects of your unique higher light signature for you to realign. Bringing your awareness into the heart space supports you being able to integrate and align within the changing moment. As you begin to reference and engage in your life's moments through your heart space, you will feel a higher sense of balance within the experience itself. Consciously choosing to take this action within your heart will totally support you as you move through this transitional path. There is nothing that your ego mind can understand or reference within the arena of your awakening path that you are on at this juncture. To support your human aspect / your mind during this transitional phase, give your ego mind specific third-dimensional tasks to complete. For example, organizing your third-dimensional life shopping lists, packing, finances. These jobs will support your human aspect in remaining balanced through this metamorphic change. You need your ego mind while you are in a human physical form. The ego mind is a necessary aspect of your human self. There is an essential requirement to create harmony within to enable yourself to fully embrace and launch yourself energetically within your full multidimensional higher self component. This conscious action by you with your human aspect will create an ongoing stability within you as you move forward in a deepening awakened state. Remember, you have come to Earth to have the human experience while you go through a spiritual reorientation. That is your mission. No matter how the misperception of your ego mind accesses the situation, what is important to understand that in reality all is in hand. You are not alone. You can trust the enormous changes that are taking place within you and focus on letting go of everything. Knowing that nothing matters very much within the third-dimensional arena. Earth's third-dimensional drama will continue to unfold around you, and know that none of it holds any importance within the big picture. See the drama as a play on a stage, having little to do with reality, with truth. Despite all the drama, you are being held and fully supported in your next steps. Nothing can get in the way unless you choose to allow interference through your ego mind. Expect the unexpected as you navigate yourself through this upcoming time frame, and know that you are in the flow when you choose to be guided through your heart. There is much to be joyful about as you choose to take moments within the stillness of your heart. Remember, your heart is your guiding light, your only true reference point for your life, your only compass. Your heart is your tool for living, guiding you into authentic moments of understanding, of clarity that realigns you through the compass to home. All will be further revealed to you as you choose moments to align to your heart as your guiding light. Know that being in your heart all the time is not possible. You are a human being having a human experience, perfectly imperfect. One moment within your heart matters. Every moment you spend in your heart is accumulative. Every moment spent in your heart further unveils more truth and understanding to you, aligning you to your sacred flow more and more. The words, I am, opens your multi-dimensional levels of consciousness, giving you a re-access to your full heritage energy. These words recreate sacred reactions within your energetic systems. They awaken light that has been lying dormant in your physical cells, enabling the cells to reignite with aspects of your multidimensional light. You activate yourself to on, like turning on a light switch. You activate your remembering process through anchoring these words, I am, setting in motion energetic frequency waves of awakening throughout all your sacred systems. This is your time of self-awakening. A glorious time of self-discovery. To arise through reclaiming your multi-dimensional essence. There is a frequency call that is going out for you to arise from a long sleep, to remember. The vibrational content of this call moves directly within your heart cells and then radiates through each cell in your physical body. Answer the call, which is in real terms your higher consciousness calling out to you. You are who you have been waiting for. We witness you in love. Blessings. The Pleiadians. Ascended Master Sanhia, can you explain more about personal will and God's will? Participant 1, I have a question about the will of God. Is it our awakened will? Why would such a will need to exist? Does it lead to something good in the end? What is this God? Sanhia, the real questions are, why is what is happening? Is there purpose or meaning in it? Is there any connection or oneness in it, or is it just random? If you resist or fight whatever is happening, you will experience pain and suffering. And it will still be here. You may decide to stop resisting because you can't do anything about it. This level of acceptance might be to say that you won't try to change things, but you're still pissed about it. Your will is that it be different. The only way to find out if what I am saying has any substance to it is to try it. So, we can replace the expression the will of God with what is. Instead of personal will we can use, I don't want what is, or how I want to change what is. Be aware where personal will exists, and experiment with not empowering it, not following it. See what happens when you welcome or practice expressing gratitude for what is. What have you got to lose when you have realized you are powerless to change what is? Goal setting and positive thinking just don't work. It's not about understanding. That need to know will just lead you down the same rabbit hole. Your only job is to recognize when your personal will is active. Notice that you cannot simply decide to not have a personal will anymore because it is expressing in your present. That would be a resistance to what is. Notice but don't follow. It may seem that you can't decide anything. That can be a healthy realization. So, for you it seems that your right now is that your husband feels stressed around his work. Your personal will wants to do something about it. Why fight what is? So, you notice, and then see what comes into the new now. Is it true that your husband should not be experiencing what is happening? Is it true that you should do something about it? Are you certain you have a better idea about what should be? If you are not sure, why do you choose to fight? What if you could rise high above all that is, See through all illusions of time and space. See that your husband is experiencing exactly the perfect thing to support his awakening. Here you are resisting what God is bringing. Are you doing this for yourself also? All you need to know is that this is what is. Participant 1. Does this mean that I should never take any action? What if God wants me to respond here in a certain way? Sanhia. If that is what is wanted in the situation, you won't be able to stop yourself from doing it. Choice is not involved. When you spontaneously react, all you can do is notice what happened. When you act from your inner guidance, there is no question of whether you did the right thing or not. There is no expectation of any specific result or reaction from your husband. If a similar situation were to occur tomorrow, you might find yourself guided to act in a totally different way. It is never about right or wrong. This gives you enormous freedom to just be in the present, responding to what is. Participant 1. It seems that it just becomes witnessing. Witnessing? Witnessing? Do I have any importance? Sanhia. Let's just play around here. We will use words because that is all we have. God created you in its own image. For fun. God desired to have someone to play with. But if they only do what God wants them to do, then they are not in its image, because God does as it wishes in every moment. How does God create a game where it can play with the creations without controlling them, having the potential for meeting as the equals they are? The only difference between you and God is that God is the creator, while you are the created. You did not create yourself, but otherwise were created in God's image. Your relationship with Jesus, for example, is as an absolute equal, both created by God. So, we are playing this game, and when you realize that we are one in divinity, how could we have different wills? It isn't that the human bows down to the will of God, it is that there is absolutely no difference between them. When you believe there is a difference, and that God is up there and you are down here, there is fear. You feel a need to choose independently of God, out of fear. Fear generates more fear. But you are not separate. God is just here, and trying to play. You are the aspect of God that seems to have a body and senses, and can play in the physical illusion. Participant 2. Is blame part of the game? Sanhia. Blame is only a part of the game in terms of fear and resistance to the game. In the now there is no blame, there is just the reacting to the moment, the playing of the game. Everything and its opposite are true at the same time. This drives the mind crazy until it drops out of the competition and plays with what is instead of what isn't. I have been telling you that you have no free will, but without free will, you could not choose the will of God over your personal will. Without free will, you cannot surrender your free will. Had you been created without free will, you would just do what God wanted. Participant 2. That might be better. Sanhia. But what fun would that be for God? How can you truly have fun with others if you believe there is a level difference? In that case, one of you feels responsible for the other. It's ball and chain time again. Your belief is that you must have your personal will to be free, but that is actually the ball and chain. A rebel has no freedom because he is limited to acting in opposition. If you really look at what is, rather than what you think it should be, you will have the realization that no improvement could be made. Just hearing that is meaningless. It is something you must investigate for yourself. When you ask the question, what is God? You are God, but not the part of God that created you. It is all one. Personal will is based on the untruth that you are separate from God. There is no trust in the separation. It believes that if you don't take care of you, nobody will. The insane thought is that you can do things better than God can. Part of that confusion comes from your belief that what you see in the world is God's creation rather than your projection. Participant 1. Is our personal will really our will? Or is it our rebellion? Sanhia. You have freedom only if you take it. Most people do not exercise that freedom. They listen to the dictates of their minds, which were trained by the mass consciousness, and then carry out the will of other humans rather than listening within to their own divine will and following that. In this way they keep themselves in bondage, going to jobs they don't love, sacrificing the now for illusory futures, remaining in unsatisfying relationships, watching their dreams and their bodies slowly deteriorate. Out of a world of infinite choice, where they can follow their passions and truly live for the moment, they keep themselves chained to unsatisfactory pasts and unknown futures. Personal will becomes an exercise in how they can best keep themselves safe. But they can't. There is no certainty other than death and taxes. You are created in the image of God. You can play creatively in the universe with God. You can be but hang out. Participant 1. But you are saying that I cannot change what God has done, that I only have the power to accept what is. Sanhia, that thinking comes from the belief of being separate from God. When you surrender to God's will, you are surrendering to your own true will. Your personal will is a lie. It's not the truth. It is not what you truly want. Participant 1. One could say that this personal will is connected to my separation story, that I am guilty, and God is out to get me. Sanhia, if you were God and were creating a world, it would be one where people never had to worry about food or shelter, or any of those types of things. Each time you set goals to handle such matters, you are expressing the belief that they are not already being taken care of. You are refusing to accept God's gifts, and feeling you must take that role upon yourself. Rather than trusting and living in the now, you are trying to control and live in a future that doesn't exist. You are using your divine power to be powerless. Therefore, I am saying that your personal will never serves your true interests. Participant 1. So, I have been using my personal will to try to create something that is already here right now. Sanhia, yes, and most likely in a superior form from what your personal will had in mind. Participant 1. Thank you. That is enough. Sanhia, if the mind goes, how the response is to open your eyes and look around. It's here right now. It has always been here right now. You are always provided for. There have been no times when you starved to death, when you could not breathe, when you had no awareness, when you weren't in the now even if your thoughts were elsewhere. Do you remember the times that were the most glorious, the times when you truly felt alive? All times are like that when you let go of the mind thoughts about how things should be and face what is. How it is exactly what you want it to be. Nothing has to change. Now you can play with God. Accepting what is does not mean rolling over and playing dead. It does not mean inactivity. It means that you listen to the divine guidance within you and react to what is. You are fully engaged in this dance with God. This awareness and co-creation will not burst into being and stay forever. It will come in bits and pieces. 2 steps forward, 1 step back. This is perfect. No faster than you can assimilate. There may be old fears and beliefs still to become aware of and let go of, more personal will to become aware of and released. The will of God is always there, always carrying you, always deeply desired. Good now. Sanhia/Spirit. The angels' love is always shining. Receive. My dear friends, we love you so very much. Take a deep, slow breath and exhale very slowly. In so doing, you have just decided to love yourself. You have chosen to allow life and spirit to flow into your body, nourish your cells, encourage the cleansing flow of lymph, increase circulation, and invite us to come closer and help to create balance in your mind, body, and spirit. You have just made a strong statement to the universe. I am open to receive life and love. You didn't think of all these things. You didn't say these things. You simply took one deep, conscious, and deliberate breath. However, your choice to do this sent out a vibration to the universe that called for spirit, life, and love to come into your physical body, soothe your mind, and help balance your emotions. One simple self-loving choice, dear ones, and there is so much benefit to you. Likewise, every time you choose to simply accept yourself as you are releasing resistance to love. When we speak of resistance, we are not talking about a mental blockage to love. We are talking about tuning into a lower vibration that blocks the unending flow of love from reaching you as strongly as it could. Water, for example, is available in your faucet. It is ready to flow at all times. Much of the time, and for good reason, the faucet is off, thus resisting the flow of the water. When you open the faucet, you release all resistance, and the water that was there, just waiting, begins to flow. Similarly, divine love is always there, emanating from the source, waiting for you to allow it to pour into your mind, body, and soul. Here is the good news. Any simple, self-loving, self-soothing, self-accepting, or other loving choice allows it to flow to you in the moment that you begin vibrating in the frequency of love. Even in your deepest grief, you can reach out for a cup of tea, or, for some of you, a glass of wine, and this is a form of self-love at that moment. We know we've inspired some judgment as we say this. A glass of wine? How can that be loving when it is often a form of escape? Well, dear ones, anything that helps you feel better as long as it does no harm can raise your vibration. So many of you criticize yourself for your habits. I spend too much. I drink too much. I eat too much. I sit around too much. We understand that you realize there are other things you want to do, other versions of yourself that you may want to become, but in reality, most of you are judging yourself by criteria others have impressed upon you. What is too much, dear ones? Who gets to decide? Our answer is that you get to decide. You get to decide when something lifts you versus when it begins to drag you down. You get to decide when something tastes good versus when you start feeling you are not even tasting. You get to decide when spending feels like self-love versus when it feels like filling an empty gap. No one else gets to tell you what is right or wrong for you. You get to decide. No one else walks in your shoes, lives in your body, or experiences your unique mind and feelings based on your very personal history and present moment. No one, dear ones, knows better what is good for you or bad for you than your own inner authority. By all means take the opinions of others that resonate with into account. Weigh them against your own feelings. If you want to eat healthier, for example, you might visit a nutritionist or study various experts online. Some of their recommendations might feel wonderful to you. That is a good clue that this is a good path for you. Some of their recommendations might feel too restrictive. Keep searching for ones that don't. You can get fit by finding exercises that you love. You can lose weight by finding foods that taste good to you. You can be healthy and have a few glasses of wine, if you have a metabolism that handles it. You know yourself better than anyone else does. You know your history, your body, and your own feelings about right and wrong. You, dear ones, have a direct connect to the divine, and like every cell in your body, every bit of nature, you know what feels good in the moment, and what does not. Trust that. In a given moment, all of creation is impulsed by the divine, toward its desires, as surely as the body impulses every cell. Both the divine and physical impulses guide souls and cells toward greater harmony. Just as each cell receives unique instructions based on its purpose, needs, and relationship to other cells, each of you receives unique instructions based on your desires, needs, and relationships with other souls. Dear ones, accept yourselves. Accept your feelings. Accept your quirks and so-called flaws with love. As you do so, the ones not rooted in love will evolve naturally, while the ones that are will remain. If you love yourself enough to refrain from judging your spending, and spend more than you have, the next time, you'll realize that you didn't feel so good, and spend in moderation. Or perhaps your bills will motivate you to start a side business you've wanted to start but were not yet motivated to do. Always, if you accept yourself as you are, with love, you will naturally and organically begin to recalibrate to the frequency of love, which can only bring good into your lives. Breathe, dear friends, slowly and deeply. Receive our love. Receive our non-judgment. Receive our vision of your beautiful hearts and your love. Above all, receive the peace of knowing that no matter what you do, you can't stop the divine and your angels from loving you. You can only receive it, or not, and it is as simple as making oneself loving, self-soothing, self-accepting, or loving choice at any given moment. God bless you. We love you so very much. The Angels Sorcery-Offlight.com. The other videos are in the English video playlist. Help me spread the light. Click like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Thank you.